Hey yo guys, it's DPX here, and we're doing something a little different today. We're making a tier list, something I don't usually do, and we're ranking characters from a series that I've never talked about before and I hadn't seen for a while. In fact, at all until very recently. That's Avatar The Last Airbender. Yeah, it was put on Netflix, and it's fantastic. I watched all of it. If I were to give my opinion on it, it'd be the same thing as everyone else's. So I'll save you some time and not dwell on everything too much. Though it's stuck in my mind so much now after finishing it. I just have to rank the characters, or maybe not specifically that, but I have to do something. So I'm ranking the characters from this tier list. It's missing a few, but if they're not here, they're probably not that important. But yeah, this is Avatar, The Last Airbender characters ranked in a tier list, sure. Please keep in mind this is gonna contain spoilers for this series. I mean, the series has been out for over a decade, it's concluded over a decade ago. But I hadn't watched it till very recently, so maybe you haven't either. If that's the case, go fucking watch it. It's amazing. Anyways, let's get started. We'll start off with Aang, the main character. He's going into an S tier. You know, he's just a goofy kid, but also serious when he needs to be serious. Um, for the most part. And, you know, I just found he might be my favorite character up until... We'll get to another character later. Those of you who know the series, you probably know who I'm talking about. But throughout the whole series, Aang was probably my favorite, just because he's just goofy and lovable. Then we have Appa, the sky bison that Aang and crew fly on. You know, I can't put him too high. I guess I'll put him in A tier just because of, you know, he's like in every episode, I guess. Except for the ones where he's missing, and that was a huge like arc. Also, Appa's Lost Days, maybe one of my favorite episodes, just because it's an interesting perspective that you don't usually get in anything. But I can't rank him too high, so yeah. Next up is Azula, the daughter of the Fire Lord, who's the big baddie, and the sister of Zuko, who I'll get into later. He's at the bottom here because his name starts with Z, so yeah, we'll definitely get to him later. But Azula, like, she's sort of, like, there's a lot of videos talking about the relationship between Azula and Zuko, and how their father, like, treated them, you know, because Azula, for the Fire Lord Ozai, seemed to be everything that Zuko wasn't. But by the end of the series, you see, like, she goes insane. Like, she gets fucking creepy, like, by the end of the series. And the way she's defeated, like, it's sort of like she got what she deserved, but it's also like, wow, damn. Because, like, she went through a similar traumatizing past that Zuko did, just instead she actually it's so much to unravel, but she's going into an A tier and above Appa as well, just because she's a huge part of the show, and very I can go on and on about it. Bato, he's not as important. In case you don't know, this is all in alphabetical order. So I mean, he's pretty cool, but he was introduced and mainly a part of one of the weaker episodes, Bato of the Water Tribe. I don't dislike this character, but he didn't really do much. He knows Katara and Sokka's father, which they've been looking for him, or haven't seen him for a while, and gets like a map to find their father. He doesn't give it to them, and then he randomly tells them that he had the map later on, and they're all mad at him. But then soon they forgive him, including Bato. He forgives him as well. And it was a little too soon to forgive him, because that was pretty fucking stupid of him to do. But I'll put Bato in B tier. Keep in mind that, like, S is great, like, the best. A is almost at the best, and B, I don't consider this to be like average. B is pretty good. C is okay, fine. D is sort of like characters I just don't really remember that well. Alright, my cabbages guy, he goes into an A tier. He doesn't serve much of a purpose other than to have his cabbages shop destroyed and to yell, my cabbages. But he's going into an A tier. Combustion Man. He didn't really do much, just because he's an assassin sent by Zuko to kill Aang, or to capture Aang. But other than that, like, he's pretty cool. I like his design, he's pretty cool, but like, he's got a third eye on his forehead, and he also has like metal on him. But he's just, there's not much to him, not much to him at all. So I'll have to put him in a C tier. The Sandbender. I mean, he's a Sandbender. That's not one of the elements, but like, nothing to this guy really. He goes into a D tier. Gyatso is sort of Aang's guardian, I guess, but he doesn't really do much. He's just in a few like flashback scenes, I guess. Like this one episode where Aang was explaining his past. He was pretty prevalent in that episode. But other than that, he didn't serve much of a purpose. He's cool though, so I'll keep him in a C tier. In fact, I'll put him in front of Combustion Man because he's actually a character. And Hakoda, the father of Katara and Sokka, he's pretty cool. He's not given that much screen time. He's given more screen time than Bato, so I gotta put him higher than Bato, but he's not the most important character. He's pretty cool though. I'm not sure. He's pretty cool though, but he's not the most important character in the whole series. Yeah, I'll put him in A tier, but he's not gonna be high up in A tier. Hama, this was an interesting character from a very interesting episode, because the episode almost turned into like a horror movie, or episode, whatever. She has a backstory where you feel for her, but the way she coped with like the tragedies and stuff is like pure evil. Like she does blood bending, which is like water bending, but you take control of the blood inside of someone, because that's also kind of like liquidy water. Yeah. I can't say too much about her though, because she was only in one episode. So I'll put her in B tier. But man, that episode is fucking crazy. Haru is pretty cool. He was in a really good episode in season 1, Imprisoned. Then he came back later in season 3. I wish they did more with him when he came back. He didn't really do much when he came back. I remember I was watching this with my brother, and I asked him, Haru's pretty cool, does he ever come back? And he said he does actually towards the end of the series. And he didn't do much, so I can't put him too high, though I'd like to, because he is pretty cool, but I'll put him like right there. Iroh goes into an S tier, just because he's almost like the Yoda of this show. He always gives like advice, and he's really funny as well, and he tries to get Zuko to not be evil. It started off as like sort of a joke at the beginning of the series, and then it turned into an actual like storyline, and sort of the biggest one in the whole series. I love Iroh. He's awesome. He might be, I don't know, he's up there with my favorite characters, you know. That scene where Iroh and Zuko reunite, damn, that gave me chills. It was awesome. Yeah, again, we'll get into Zuko later. Zuko, I got you, buddy. Jung, I mean, he was in a very interesting episode where Aang was learning how to firebend. Jung was the teacher for Aang, but it was weird because Aang then burned Katara, and then Katara like cried and everything, which she then later on in the series became a character that doesn't really do that much. That's not really Jung's fault though, but I can't really tell you much about Jung. He was pretty cool though. I'll put him in C tier. But yeah, I like Jung. Can't really say much about him. Jet is another character who I was I thought was pretty cool. He appeared in season 1, and I asked my brother, "Does Jet come back later on?" And he said he does, and he did, and he did a lot more than Haru did when he came back. With what he did at the beginning was like want to get revenge on the Fire Nation, but took it out on innocent people that were just a part of the Fire Nation, and then he got his comeuppance for that. But then later on in season 2, he's much more important and appears way more, and has some cool battles with Zuko and with Aang. So I'll put I'll say Jet is in A tier. Jin, I don't dislike Jin, but like she isn't that. She wasn't in it that much, really. She was in Tales of Ba Sing Se, where she was just sort of act as Zuko's girlfriend for that one tale, which was a really good tale from that episode. That was a great episode. But I can't say much about her, really, so I'll put her in C tier. Judy. I didn't like her, but like that's because I'm not supposed to like her. She's not a good character, but also she was sort of brainwashed in a way. That's a lot to unravel, and I'll be here forever if I talk about it. But just I gotta put her higher than I can't put her in C tier because they made me not like her. So that's cool. And when Aang just screamed at her face and she ran away, I really like that. So we'll put her here. This woman, I actually forgot her name, but that's because I'm an idiot. She was way more important. She helped Zuko and Iroh find the Avatar earlier on, and then didn't come back later on. Didn't come back till like the end of the season, like toward during the 4-part finale. And up at that point, before we saw her again, I had actually forgotten about her, so that's a bit of a problem. But I'll put her in C tier just because she's pretty cool, but I did forget about her. Katara, she's she's one of the main characters, I'd say. She's very important and very like useful. She sort of acts as a motherly figure, which many people didn't like, but I didn't mind it too much. And then there's an entire episode explaining that, which was a really good episode, and she's also a very powerful waterbender. So I don't know, you guys might not agree with this, but I'll put her in S tier because I don't know, she just a really well written character. Now Boomy, he had to do with like one of my favorite twists in the whole series, where at the beginning, Aang went to this one like temple, and this guy was fucking with Aang, and then it turns out this is Boomy, Aang's friend, from when Aang, before he was, froze himself in ice for 100 years, he's still alive. So that was a good twist. Just because of that alone, I like him, but for the twist alone, he gets an A tier, even though he's not in it that much. The Earth King, he didn't do much, and it was a bit strange because sorry, that was my phone. When the Earth Kingdom, when like it failed and everything, like he left with the crew, like Aang and Katara and everyone, but then at the beginning of season 3, it was explained that he went on his own little mission, so he didn't do anything after that. So I can't put him too high. I'll put him in C tier. Avatar Kyoshi, she didn't really do much. I can't really tell you anything about her, except for that one confession part. But like that was sort of Aang. That was a weird episode, where not much was really learned there. I'll put her in D tier because I can't really tell you anything. Long Feng. Now this dude, he wasn't in too many episodes, but he was in season 2. He was sort of the ruler of Ba Sing Se, and he would censor and silence people who mentioned the war that was going on. And he also captured Appa and made Aang go through some horrible stress. A lot of the events that happened in season 2 was because of this guy, and I just hated this guy. And once I saw him get arrested, that was really satisfying. Just because of that, just because he's such a hateable villain in the way that you're supposed to hate him, I gotta put him in A tier. This dude, I believe this is one of Jet's friends, but I don't know, I can't really remember his name. I'll put him in D tier because I also can't really remember anything he did. May is pretty cool. She was one of the friends of Azula, who Azula sort of recruited and did a bunch of evil with her. But why'd I say Aang? May, actually had a relationship with Zuko, and, then, something happened with Zuko that I'll get into later, which made some interesting shit go on between the two. But then May, the twist and turn that she took towards the end of the series was really cool, so I gotta put her in an A tier. You! I feel like I should know your name, because you definitely appeared more than once, but I forgot your name. I'm just an idiot, that's why I forgot his name. So, I'll put him in C tier, but he doesn't seem to be too memorable anyways. Momo! A lot of people don't like Momo, but I liked him. Not too much, he wasn't too, important, he didn't serve too much of a purpose. But I'll put him in B tier. Yeah. We'll do that. Fire Lord Ozai. He was pretty cool. He's the big baddie, and he's also voiced by Mark Hamill, which perfect. The perfect like evil baddie voice, Mark Hamill. He's used more as a plot device and also as a barrier to see how powerful Aang is. But I mean that in the nicest way possible, because Ozai was that fight. A lot of people didn't like the fight between Aang and Ozai. I really did. I thought it was really good. I can see how maybe you wouldn't like the fight, though. That's the thing. I can't put Ozai too high, but at the same time, I'm gonna put him in A tier because he was pretty cool. Paku is also pretty cool. From a very interesting episode, where Aang needs a waterbending teacher. Wants Katara to train him, but then Katara needs a teacher, so she goes and asks for training from Paku. But Paku is like sexist, he doesn't train girls. Then that turns into a huge conflict, but then it turns out Katara's grandmother used to be in love with Paku. So then Paku decides to train her. See, that's sort of the thing, though. He didn't really learn anything. He just trained her because he was kind of, in a way, related to Katara. Kind of. Not really, but you know what I mean. So I can't put him too high. He is pretty cool, though. So I'll put him at the front of C tier. Next up, Pion Do. He was Sokka's master. He was pretty cool. That episode is where he felt down because he was the one who didn't have any cool bending abilities. So he went to go train and get a master. And he got a really cool sword made by a meteorite. Or made out of a meteorite, rather. But it was weird, though, because at the beginning, like, Sokka said his name was Sokka and everything. But then later on said he was a part of the Water Tribe, and this dude's from the Fire Nation. So they had a duel, and then it turns out this guy knew that Sokka was from the Water Tribe all along. So that was a bit strange, but he's pretty cool. I'll put him in a B tier. This dude, I believe he was also a friend of Jet. Notice how, like, Jet is pretty memorable, but a lot of his gang members aren't. So he's going in D tier. Avatar Roku and Fire Lord Sozin, I'll group them together. They're both interesting characters, and they're both best friends in a really cool episode that showed, like, them two being friends. Basically throughout, like, a flashback scene. Pretty much the whole episode is like that. And a pretty cool twist as well, where Sozin is the father of Ozai, which that wasn't the twist. So that's Zuko's grandfather, but so is Avatar Roku, because that's the father of Zuko's mother. So that's very interesting there, although albeit strangely coincidental. Like, that is a huge coincidence, but yeah, not much else to them really, but they were both pretty cool. A really good episode, so I'll put them both in B tier. Smellerbee, another member of Jet's gang. Simply because I remember her name, she'll go into C tier. I'll put her right. No, I'll put her right here. But not much to her really. Sokka, he already goes into an A tier. I'll put him above Appa really, because Sokka, I mean, he started off as sort of like a comic relief character, and later on he is still a comic relief character. But like, he was a bit annoying at the beginning. I didn't like him at all, actually, to be honest. Like, I don't know if I was supposed to not like him, but he was just annoying at the beginning. But he later became sort of the brains of the group, and that was very interesting to see him go through that, like, character change. Yeah, that was just very interesting, and I really liked it. And he's a really cool character, so he goes into A tier. In fact, I'd put him at the front of, come on, of A tier. He beats out Azula. Then we have Suki. She was like sort of the leader, or I wouldn't say the leader, but a member of the Kyoshi Warriors. The only member that we really know about that much. And is also Sokka's girlfriend. I like their relationship. It's cute, I guess. It's nice to watch. She doesn't do that much, but she is a pretty cool character. I'll put her here. She is pretty cool. This dude, I don't remember him at all. I don't know. You go there. I also don't remember you at all. I believe you were one of Toph's opponents. I don't know. You go there. You. I think you were also one of Jet's gang members. I don't remember your name. You go there. Jesus Christ, I put so many people there just now. Toph. She beats out Sokka, because she is a very interesting character, and shows the diversity of the cast. She's like, what? She's a girl, she's blind, and she's Asian. That's very diverse for people that complain about diversity in their TV shows. It's also very interesting that she's blind, so she sees with her feet and more feels stuff, but it's really seeing in a way. So her character is just very interesting. Yeah, I gotta put her in A tier, and I don't think she's gonna move from that spot in A tier. Then we have Ty Lee, who, like May, is another friend of Azula, and who goes through a similar, like, turn that May does. But she's in it a lot less than May. And she's a lot less important than May is. She doesn't have a relationship with anyone like how May does with Zuko. I can't put her too high, but we'll put her right here. Then we have Ursa, Zuko and Azula's mother. There's not much to her. She's not in it that much. She's in a few like flashback sequences, and one that's effectively a dream sequence where she confronts Azula, who didn't have a good relationship with her mother. She's not too important. No, she is pretty important. There's one tease at the end of this series where Zuko asks where his mother is, and that's explored later on in one of the novels. I haven't read the novel, but I'll put her randomly in B tier. She is. I don't dislike her or anything, but she's just not in it that much, really. Quan Shi Tong, I think I got it right. Pretty cool. Like a giant, sort of like dragon-shaped owl, in a way, from a very interesting episode. But not much beyond that. I think she did reappear. I don't know if it was he or she, but the character did reappear in Legend of Korra, which I have yet to watch, and I've heard some mixed things about that series. I don't know if I'll watch it, but I'll put Wan Shi Tong in C tier. This dude, I remember you. I don't remember your name. You were like one of the Earthbenders trying to get back Toph. That's all there is to him. He's just an angry Earthbender. Where's the blind bandit? That's the name Toph went by. And if you're watching this far into the video, I'm sure, I don't know why I'm explaining things like that to you. You've seen the series, or you just don't care, I guess, but you've most likely seen the series. He's going into a C tier. Princess Yue, she's not in it that much, but when she is in it, it was very, you know, her sacrifice was really good. Osaka fell for her, but it turns out she was getting married to someone she didn't want to get married to, so she couldn't be in a relationship with Sokka. But then at the end, Sokka's meant to protect her. That was the role he was given by a general. But then she turns into a moon spirit. So that was a pretty cool sacrifice. I can't put her too high, though, just because that's all she really did. So she'll go right here. Who are you? I don't even remember you at all. I don't know. You go here. Admiral Zhao, he was pretty cool. He was basically like an antagonist to Zuko in a way, and to Aang. Zuko was trying to capture the Avatar, but Zhao would always antagonize Zuko, saying like Zuko's not good enough to do it. He goes into an A tier just because he was very conniving, I guess, because he was just really good. He was only in one season though, and then season 2 came along, and I'd say Azula more kind of replaced Zhao. And then we got Zuko, who goes into an S tier. You know what? I think he beats out Aang and Iroh and Katara. Aang might be the main character, but it seems that the series was, in a way, built around Zuko's redemption arc, because he starts by trying to capture the Avatar, and trying to make his father proud, wanting love from his father. And then later on, it's falsely reported that Aang is dead, in which Azula told the Fire Lord, their father, that, oh, Zuko killed Aang, and then the Fire Lord was appreciated Zuko and everything, but then Zuko turned and restored his own honor. So that was really cool. And, like, there's way more to it. There's way more to it than that. I don't want to go too in-depth with it, because I can make an entire video about that, but I'm not going to, because there's a million of them, and they all say everything I would say. So go watch them. Just search up Avatar The Last Airbender Zuko video essay or whatever. Or maybe even video essay, and you'll find many results about Zuko that explains it the same way I would, but probably better. But yeah, that's my ranking of the Avatar The Last Airbender characters. What do you think? Keep in mind, this was, if you're a fan of the series who watched it when it was airing, this is from the perspective and opinion of someone who just watched the whole thing for the first time very recently. In fact, at the time recording, yesterday is when I finished season 3, and I'm thinking of rewatching the whole series, aside from some of the, pointless filler episodes, whatever. I did want to make a video about Avatar, but there's everything about the series you can say has already been said. So I did this, which has already also been done a lot, but a lot less in video essays and reviews. So, hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like this video, come subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.